Oh boy, it's going to be a controversial video, so we're going to do a controversial intro video. I don't know if the people knew exactly what the purpose of this meme was, as now it's multifaceted, depending on your own personal viewpoints. As the viewpoints online are becoming more and more radicalized, as now the conversation amongst race has definitely heated up with some awful developments, starting, of course, the track meet incident where we had the passing away of a 17-year-old young man, as now the internet is ablaze with conspiracies, awful takes, and fundraisers for the person that took his life. What kind of strange world are we living in? What's really going on here, especially when it comes to some of the very weird media coverage surrounding these events, as I wanted to particularly focus on the bigger conversation here that I think absolutely needs to happen. And a lot of people are afraid of it, and sadly, they do not want to discuss the bigger details here, the statistics, and we'll delve into it as best as we can here, as, of course, the conversation all started in Texas, where we had Austin Metcalf, a man who allegedly went up to another 17-year-old, Carmelo Anthony, and said that he was sitting in the wrong chair. Now, according to the sources here, there's multiple now sources. A lot of them are just made up, by the way. A lot of the people online are just making stuff up about this particular event here. But the long and short of it is, hey, you're in the wrong seat. There's a altercation. There's a interaction here that escalated. And this 17-year-old was stabbed by this 17-year-old. Now, of course, let's be honest here, when it comes to media coverage, when it comes to black on white crime, we never really hear about it, except for now, and that's why this story is so different. If it's black on black crime, we never really hear about it at all from the corporate media. But when it's white on black crime, oh my goodness! Then it's news headlines after news headlines after news headlines, as the internet is picking up this story in the same way that the corporate media usually likes to select and pick their stories for their narratives. And some people are accusing the internet of running with their own narrative around this. But I think this narrative is a direct response to just the insanity surrounding this case and just how often it actually happens, because it never is addressed. It's usually swept under the rug, and everyone's told to shut up and ignore it, or else you're a really bad, awful person if you notice the elephant in the room, which is ridiculous here. Another thing that's very ridiculous here is the father here of the stabber, who came out and says, my son didn't start it. He's a good kid. Your son stabbed someone in the heart over a seating argument, okay? That's not a good kid, okay? That's not good. I don't care who started. When you escalate it to the point where you're taking out a knife and plunging it deep into someone's heart, taking their life, I'm sorry, but that right there is showing you how, yeah, you did actually start. Now, I don't care if there even was an argument. I don't even care if there was a light scuffle there. You walk away. That's what any kind of responsible, reasonable human being does. That's not a reasonable human being. That's not someone who's a good kid. That's not someone who didn't start. That's someone who escalated and decided to take someone's life over a seat. Over a freaking seat. Life is precious. It's fleeting. It's a beautiful gift that we're given. And he took his life away from his family, from his loved ones, over a seat. You walk away. That's you got to do that sometimes. But now, internet still, for some reason, is siding with the attacker here, is siding with the killer here, as now there's multiple Justice for Carmelo Facebook groups out there and multiple GoFundMe campaigns launched for him, as fake news is ablaze right now, especially on Twitter, as already There's 12 different fundraisers being posted on GoFundMe, and GoFundMe, of course, probably will keep them up. If it's a GoFundMe for any kind of conservative right-wing cause, boom, delete it right away. This stuff, they'll probably keep it up, just like they did for, BLM that had all of their chief officers that were promoting communism take all the money themselves and buy themselves some nice luxury mansions in California. That was money well spent there, wasn't it? But now, of course, we have a lot of people online saying, hey, I want to raise funds for this kid. Where do I give him my money here? As a lot of other people are just creating so much fake news out there. And this one from Truth Seeker Tarisha came out, and I don't know if this person made this or is just sharing it, but this is allegedly the toxicology report that is describing, and again, this is, I would say, one of the most poorly written toxicology reports. You could see that it was not done by any, quote, rocket. Well, it was probably done by some kind of rocket science. And again, anyway, this fake toxicology report's going around now claiming that the victim here was somehow on drugs. He was on MDMA, and he was acting wild. He was acting crazy. And there's other people just running with false narratives. Before talking about those false narratives, we want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, someone that is absolutely awesome, someone that is absolutely incredible, and that, of course, is Anton from BiltongUSA.com. I really like this product. It's an amazing product. You see it all over the desk right now and behind me. I gave it to my gardener yesterday that was helping me with my little plot of land that I have here. He loved it, and I forgot to even tell him about my promo code WRC. This stuff is really great, top-notch stuff, super clean, super awesome stuff here. As, of course, if you are looking for a family-friendly snack that's low in carbs, packed with protein, Biltong is the ultimate health snack. Biltong is a great source of iron, also serves as a source of several other essential nutrients, including magnesium, potassium, and B vitamins, fueling gains in every aspect of your life. Whether you're following a carnivore, keto, or high-protein diet, Biltong is the perfect addition to keep you on track. Use code WRC, 10% off of your purchase, and really the things that you're able to get there. The dried fruit also is really awesome, but you could get it spicy, you could get it and how fatty you want, how moist you want. Listen, this is some of the best stuff out there, and for me, the Wagyu is the favorite. It's a little bit more of a premium product, but I love it. It is great, it is soft, and I think you guys will like it too as well. I give it to all my neighbors. I give it to everyone in my life that I'm like, here, and they're all of them. No negative reviews. Not one person gave me a negative review. Go check them out. By supporting them, you support this independent media network as well here that has been on the ground reporting on a lot of the previous insanity this country has been delved into because of the very kind of amplified race relations that are used as a divide and conquer scheme and technique against the population. So we fight each other and never do realize the true source of all of our evils. And again, Tariq Nasheed also is another person that is running with a lot of false narratives here, absolutely spewing some of the worst awful rhetoric here, talking about how this victim was a suspected white supremacist. I get no proof of that. Not at all here. And then cherry picking, and then talking about he wouldn't give a seat up. It was like Jim Crow era. Oh, come on. Shut up. Like, you are a pathetic race hustler. And again, the stories here by all these people just meant to amplify tension, meant to piss people off. And that's exactly what a lot of these posts do. I even thought about maybe I just don't show it. But I think it's worth seeing some of the nastier, more disgusting sides of some of the people's takes here, just so you understand what you're dealing with here. Because it's important to understand this is the minds of some of these individuals. And because someone was black, and then they're black too, they're like, you know what? And again, it's true on all sides here. We do have racial preferences, even though a lot of people like to believe that we're living in some kind of make-believe wonderful world when in reality we're not. You travel the world, holy frickin' cow, you learn just how absolutely racist the entire world is. America, least racist country in the world, in my opinion, after traveling the entire frickin' world many times over. But we got another take here that's absolutely ridiculous by this person saying him and his twin tried to jump a 17-year-old black child, which resulted in him getting stabbed. Play stupid games. It's come on, It was over a seat. Okay. Clearly, Austin didn't have a weapon. Clearly, there wasn't any violence that led up to this. And again, other people are just running with this fake narrative. They tried to jump him. They broke his phone. Shut up. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You have no clue at all. We have the twin brother here who by the way, saw his brother die in his arms. Awful, horrible stuff. But again, these people are just absolutely unhinged, crazy lunatics with their takes here, saying he deserved it. He was the aggressor. He didn't leave. They jumped him. They're bullies. Oh, my goodness gracious. And then there's some really awful people posting things like this, laughing, cheering, and celebrating the news of another white person dying in the hands of a black male. Now, the father here, who's grieving, who's dealing with a huge, stressful situation, says that he disagrees with allegedly some of the racist takes. And there's racist takes on both sides here. But again, I think that racism is fueled by all this kind of freaking, you can't talk about this, you better shut up about this, you talk about this, you're done. A lot of people are done living in that type of world. And I think this story specifically highlights that, saying, no, we're going to have a conversation here. It's an important conversation, as this is what the father had to say. And again, some people on the right are saying this is the wrong take. Some people on the right are saying this is the Christian take to take here. And other people are saying, this is a grieving father who still probably hasn't processed the loss of his son here.
It's very unfortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know, they weren't there.
Yep, a lot of us weren't there. But the father came out and said, listen, God will judge this 17-year-old for taking the life of my son here. And again, very Christian take. Even with all of that, there's still a huge response against him and his family right now that have to deal with all of this fake news, fake toxicology reports, fake autopsy reports, fake people just reporting, oh, yeah, he did this, he did that. None of that's true here. People digging through all of their family history, just trying to extrapolate anything they can to make them look bad. And this is a man, by the way. Then this is the lesson here that I think really needs to be kind of pontificated by and thought about here considerately. This is a man that said, I forgive him right away. That says, I feel sorry for him. That says, God is going to judge him. He's going to have to deal with his own battles. The guy took his son's life. That's how he responded. And then there's a whole community behind him saying, yes, good, I'm happy your son died. What the hell? And then raising money for the attacker. Raising money for the person that took his son's life, supporting him. Now, there's also news of Austin's family starting a GoFundMe here. And again, lots of people do this. It's pretty crazy how this is kind of the norm with any kind of tragic event here. I don't know how to feel about this personally here, as let's just be honest with ourselves here just for a second here, because let's just be real. As people point out here, if the shoe was on the other foot and this was a white teen stabbing a black teen, how do you think the media would have responded to this? I wonder how they would. Okay, the exact opposite of what you're saying right now would have happened right now. There would have been huge protests, huge riots, nonstop media coverage, making this the story of the fricking day. But that didn't happen here. The opposite of it did. And now we're finally able to have a conversation about it civilly, with stats, with science, with fiction here. And again, lots of people want to sweep this story under the rug, sweep the consequences here under the rug here. But let's not forget about the BLM George Floyd days here, okay? Because imagine if there was a black student, star athlete, 4.0 GPA, black student stabbed by a white student. What would have happened? Think about that for a second. What would have gone on in this country? Imagine George Floyd, criminal, put a firearm to a pregnant woman's stomach. Okay, criminal, drug addict, and the country burned down. Now imagine just the severe ramifications if that was completely different here. And Jason Whitlock of the Blaze, I think, is getting a lot of criticism for his comments, but a lot of people are resonating with it here specifically.
Will anybody in the sports media world talk about this? Will any of the Cowboys treat Austin Metcalf the way the Cowboys treated George Floyd, taking a knee all over the place? What's more of a tragedy? George Floyd overdosing on fentanyl under the knee of Derek Chauvin, or this 17-year-old boy, honor roll student, devout Christian, stabbed in the heart at a track meet?
Let's be honest here. That's a tough question. A lot of people don't want to answer that question. The 17-year-old, absolutely, 110%. And then Jason Whitlock went on and then talked about the hypocrisies here and what would have happened if the shoe was on the other foot here. Now, again, let's get into it because I think this is an important conversation to have here, as a lot of people are pinpointing, saying, look at the difference, specifically when it comes to black on black crime, black on white crime, white on black crime. And there's a significant, huge portion of a difference here. And the media representation of it would have you think, and there are black people who think that they're getting murdered and lynched by white people here all the time. And that's what we see. We see the rhetoric from them. We're getting murdered. We're getting killed. White man's killing me. Not what the crime statistics show. Not at all. Black on black crime. Serious. And again, also another issue that the media doesn't want to touch. They only want to touch it. They only want to promote it. They only want to put emotions behind it when it's white on black crime. The lowest tier of statistics of interracial crime, except for Asians. Asians are way down low when it comes to any type of crime here. And when we look at the data, specifically when it comes to homicides by race here, and then you could even make that statistic even crazier when you just go for males. Okay, you look at the FBI records from 2019. 5% of the population committed 40% of all the violent crimes. Can you guess that population? Can you guess which population it was? Can you? Oh, you're racist. You're done. You're canceled. Okay. Well, call the woke mob. Let's go protest it. You said it, not me. I ain't say it. You said it. You said it. All right? Matt Walsh is also tweeting about this as well. And he's kind of just made the point that I kind of made here. And he talks about, hey, this is an issue. It's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. It's a big portion of them, to the point where it's not normal. It's irregular, and there needs to be something to be done, whether it's a conversation about families, fatherless homes, culture, music, DNA, I don't know. All of it needs to happen in a way where we could actually address and deal with this problem, since this problem is holding back everyone. Now, I would say what the woke liberal Democrats have done are exactly some of the most racist, bigoted policies out there. As of course, these policies are specifically meant to exacerbate the problem, because you're not able to talk about a problem. If you're not able to talk about a problem and you're not able to actually address the problem just festers and it grows, because you can't even get to the root source of it. You can't even have a real conversation about it. And the left has weaponized this conversation to the point where you even mention it. Done. Canceled. Google's probably waiting on that censor button right now on this video. Like, we're gonna take you out. If you do truly care about people, you tell them, yo, this is your issue. You got to deal with it. There's a violence issue, specifically with this very small demographic of people in our country. That's about 5 to 6% of them. 5% or 5% and 6% of them, that cause a huge vast majority, not excluding the rigged statistics that by the way, we caught local police departments and even the FBI obscuring to make it look like it's not that big of a statistics. There's photos right now of white prisoners. And I'll just pull this up. Just to show you, because this is their classification inside of the prison system that is just absolutely hilarious here. Because, again, you look at all these guys, they're all white, by the way. And this is according to the Tennessee and the Texas offenders list. Look at these white guys here. The statistics that you're seeing, 5% of violent crime, that's with these types of rigging of the numbers, by the way, with these guys being classified as white. What's the real statistics? I don't know. Probably a lot higher, okay? Probably a lot higher. As in the United Kingdom, they're like, oh, you're a white guy, you go to jail even more. But they also have the same problem that we do, specifically around race. But there, you can't even mention that. So it's not an American problem. It's not, oh, look at the statistics in Africa. I was there. It's not the slave master. It's not a slave master problem. It's a lot of let's be real. All right. Again, the conversation, I think, needs to be done in a very rational way, in a very understanding way. Hassan Piker is saying that Matt Walsh is a straight-up Klansman. Or he said straight Klansman territory here. As the coroner pointed out, you overwhelmingly made sure you live in a white neighborhood. You paid $10 million to live in a mansion in Crackertown. Why doesn't he live, with all his homies? Again, this is the conversation that I think needs to be had more than ever. If you agree, share it. And let's hope this conversation actually gets us somewhere. Let's hope people take the blinders off their eyes, take the emotion out of it, take the hatred out of it, and we can actually sit down and say, yeah, okay, let's deal with this, and let's actually try to change this, and let's actually try to fix this, and let's actually try to help people instead of just acting like the problem's not there when it is. That's my personal view. Shouts out to Bill Tong, great guy. And I appreciate all of the biltong he sends me. So check them out, biltongusa.com. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.